Well, today is an exciting day as we're going to load up the yearling steers into the trailer and take them up to their summer grazing pasture, which is a new pasture that I've never taken cattle to before or shown you guys. And if that weren't exciting enough, today marks the day that I get to use my new loading alley for the first time. That's what's going on today on Farmertylerranch. Well, backing up to this thing for the first time went okay. I already see something that I'd like to address though. I got a decent angle. There's a bit of a gap here, which for these yearlings will be fine. I mean, they're not going to be able to fit through that. But what I noticed that I don't like is when I'm backing up, I really can't see like how far to go. I basically just have to back up until the trailer kisses the loading alley, which I don't like. I should have something coming off the side of this pipe and sticking out so that when I'm looking in my mirror back here, I can kind of tell where I'm at. But all in all, that's a little thing and very easy to fix. The ramp going into the trailer looks just about like I hoped it would. There's plenty of clearance between the concrete and the trailer as it sits now, and I think even with a load full of cows, when the trailer squats down a little bit, it's still not going to touch that. So let's go ahead and get these yearlings back in the working corral. We'll have to separate the heifers and the steers. The heifers are going to stay here today. They're going to a different pasture in a couple of days. But yeah, today's load is only going to be steers. That's where you wanted to stand, huh? Get out of here. That's good. That's good. That's good. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. That's too easy. Well, I had one run through that I didn't want, but which is okay. We can deal with that. But let's see. What's the best way to deal with it, I guess, is the question. I'm gonna try leaving these steers in here, and we'll see if we can break that one steer back off in where I'm standing. Whoa, now that's why you should latch gates. Okay, where's the guy? no, 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 no. No, 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 no. You dumb. Well, I'm not sure what the camera picked up there, but that steer, I had him in this pen here by himself. I thought he'd be all right because he's sharing a fence with the rest of the yearlings, but he did not appreciate being in there. And he stuck his head through the feed bunk here, and then he got his legs through. He was starting to get through it. Fortunately, I got in front of him fast enough and got him going back the right way. So, close call. That's why I usually have a screen on that, and why I probably need to put the screen back up. Okay, well, gates are all set. I think we're all ready to go. Let's try this thing out. Good. You gotta go with me, dude. Come on. How are you guys doing this way? Well, that didn't go as smoothly as I was hoping, but I don't blame the loading alley design. I blame the fact that there's a bunch of green grass growing in the alleyway itself, and everybody was wanting to stop and eat, which just killed all progress and kind of messed up the whole operation. But we got them in there, and that's the main thing. Come on, Bill. Come on, buddy. Get out of the way. Straight to work. Still got 3 of them. Yep. Come on, guys, you got 2 more. One's out. Promise. Be happy. Oh, goodness. Yeah, they don't like jumping out of it. That's so slippery when it gets wet.
Yeah, that I could see that.
You know? I don't know how I feel about the stall mats. But the aluminum gets slippery too. Well, I was gonna try to follow them, just kind of see what they're doing, but I think they've got to just go explore, find the perimeter of the pasture. And, you know, this is all very exciting to them. I'm sure in a couple hours they'll settle down. Welcome to the new summer steer pasture. I think this property in total is about 26 acres. And as you can see, there's plenty of feed for these guys. This pasture is irrigated. There's an abundance of trees that are going to give these guys plenty of shade throughout the summer. So I think this is going to be a really good spot for them. Now, why bring them here instead of the old steer pasture? And the reason is basically just that this pasture's got some things that that other one doesn't. The main thing being a working facility with a squeeze chute and a good way to load them out. Because I've got 10 calves over here, having that is a really big deal. The 5 heifers that I sorted off of this group in the beginning of the video are going to be going up to what was the steer pasture last year. And I think that'll be just kind of a better fit. It's a smaller pasture. We'll have less head over there. This is a bigger pasture, so it makes more sense to bring the bigger group over here. If you look at the amount of feed that is stocked up over here, these guys have got a lot of work to do, so I guess we'll let them get to it. We've got the yearling group whittled down to these 5 heifers, and they are going to go off to their summer grazing pasture probably day after tomorrow. So I think what I'll do is just keep them locked in here so they're easy to grab and get up into the trailer. In the last video, I vaccinated and branded all of the yearlings, and several people asked me if I was going to keep any of those heifers as replacements, and the answer is yes. These 5 heifers here, the reason that I still have them is because they are going to be replacement heifers. We've got 2419, 2416, 2427, 2418, and 2403. The first 2 numbers in their tag number is the year that they were born, and then the last 2 numbers are what number calf they were. So in the case of like 2418, she would have been the 18th calf born in the year 2024. So people asked about the status of these heifers, and the other question that I got, I even had people email me this question, and that was, why do I brand the calves? And the main reason why I do it is because they are going to go off-site to other locations, and while they are not running with other cattle that might have a different brand, they are in areas where there are other cattle, like the pasture that we dropped the steers off at today. They share a fence line with other ranches, and the potential is there that those steers could get in with those other cattle. And the only way to really know for sure which ones are mine and which ones belong to other people is by that brand. And in fact, I lived through this once before. A couple years ago, I'm sure I probably filmed some degree of it, or at least talked about it, but a bunch of my cows at the winter pasture got out, and they actually ended up in with the neighbor's cows. So having those cattle branded was really a good thing in that situation, because it made it easy to know which ones were mine. And yes, there are other ways to identify cattle. As you can see, I've got all my calves and cows ear tagged, but ear tags are notorious for coming out. They're really not a reliable way to identify your cattle. The other thing I see a lot is people say, well, why not freeze brand them? The state of California actually doesn't recognize a freeze brand as an official form of identification. And furthermore, a freeze brand shows up great on anything with black hide, but like these gray calves or brown calves, whatever you want to call them, a freeze brand is not going to show up that great, and you're certainly not going to be able to pick that brand out from a distance. A good case in point here is Rivet. Rivet actually has a freeze brand on this hip. So if he'll hold still, let's try to get a look at it. Now I can kind of see it because I know where it should be and I know what it should look like, but let's say Rivet was off running around on someone else's property that had never seen him before, I'm not sure that that freeze brand would pass as an adequate way of identifying him. Compare that with the hot brand that he has on his right hip, and you kind of see what I'm trying to say here. The last question, this end of the video kind of turned into like a little short Q&A session, but anyway, because I know that a lot of people are going to ask me this, and that is going to be, how far away is the new pasture? From the ranch to the new steer pasture is pretty much exactly 30 minutes in the truck, which is the same as the old summer pasture, which is also 30 minutes away, where these heifers will be going. And the old summer pasture and the new summer pasture are about 15 minutes away from each other. And that's a big part of why I thought that this new pasture lease would work, because I can drive up to one, just make a quick jump 15 minutes over to the other and come home. It's still going to add time to whatever day I do that, but it's not like, you know, I've got to drive 30 minutes in the exact opposite direction. Well, it may not seem like it in the video, but it's been a long day, so I think I'm going to call it here. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.